Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Proper football is back, and Manchester United face Everton at Old Trafford. This is the preview to that particular game, and it certainly can be the start for a very, very good run that Man United and Ruben Amorim can get into. Now, let's be real, not every game in the Premier League is easy, and even though we have only one game a week, we have the time to train, recover, rest, etc. We haven't been as clinical or as good as we want to be. But there has been improvements. There has been resilient performances, especially when we do go behind in games. And with a game like this coming up against Everton, David Moyes certainly will be licking his lips in wanting to cause an upset. Now, I cannot be expecting Everton to come to Old Trafford with fear because they have been a good outfit. They have been a good team this season. Not necessarily at their best because last season they were absolutely atrocious. But this particular season, David Moyes has started to input his tactics. He started to show that he is that manager that he was and can be. I mean, he won a European trophy with West Ham and they sacked him immediately after that the following season. And you see now West Ham are struggling and are slowly trying to get back with Nuno. But nevertheless, David Moyes does have the players at his disposal that can cause an upset. The likes of Jack Grealish, who is on loan from City, but certainly has found his form that he had when he was at Aston Villa. So therefore is a dangerous player regardless. You have the likes of Iliman Ndiaye, who certainly has shown his quality. Ruben Amorim has said that he is an incredible player, and we know his ability when he is performing for Everton. The likes of Beto, James Garner, of course Jordan Pickford in goal. These are all players that can cause an upset on the day. And for some reason, whenever we face Everton, Jordan Pickford tends to have an amazing game in goal. We tend to struggle to score against him. He makes amazing saves that he doesn't do every week. So I am excited for the game, but I'm also quite tentative and very, very conservative with regards to how we should approach this game. Now, we will have more possession of the ball. We certainly will be pushing them into a mid to low block, and they'll be comfortable with that. They're comfortable without the ball because they will try and pick us off when we do lose possession, when we are a bit lighter at the back. They are going to try and counter us with the pace that they have available. It certainly will come down to us being more clinical and being aggressive from the get-go. We need to get those balls into the box. We need to find the spaces in between, and they will be compact. They will be very, very tight in defense. We need to go wide. We need to try and open them up, cross the ball in, and then we will find ourselves creating opportunities. Now, a fair and obvious tactic that Ruben Amorim uses is taking the ball wide and then playing a couple 1-2s in and around the box, and then cutting it back for someone, making a late run into the box to score. We've seen those goals before. We've also seen goals where the ball has been crossed into the box and we've scored from that as well. Against a team like Everton, we're not going to have a lot of space to run it behind because David Moyes and the defenders will be wary of the pace that we have in the likes of Cunha, Mbumo, Ahmad, Dogu, etc. They will know that and they will cover for that. They will try and exterminate their weaknesses in defense by being compact, by laying as close as possible to their box at defensive third, and of course, trying to keep the ball out of the box. Crossing the ball in is an option, but of course, Everton will also be comfortable with heading the ball out from the box with the centre backs that they do have. But for me, in this game, Ruben Amorim needs to be making a couple changes. We know that Benjamin Sesko is not available, and that in itself provides us with a problem, especially in attack. But there is options for Ruben Amorim. There is ways for him to work around it for the time being. And he did say in the press conference that Sesko will be out for a few weeks and they're going to be very, very careful with him in terms of his recovery and bringing him back into the team because it was a knee injury, and we know knee injuries can be very, very sensitive, could easily have you out for the rest of the season if you are not careful. Take a look at Martinez, who came back, was playing well, and then had a slight reoccurrence of the same knee injury that he had and basically he was out for the rest of the season, and he's only now starting to train on grass and make his way back to full fitness to be part and ready to take part in competitive football for Man United. But nevertheless, Lemens in goal. Euro to Ligt and Shaw, I think, will be the back three. Maguire is not available for this game, as said by Ruben Amorim. So I think you will go with the likes of Euro to Ligt and Shaw. Mazraoui is also an option, but I don't think that he's going to be starting Mazraoui in this game. He likes to start Mazraoui more at right wing back, but in this game, us playing at home, he will most likely play Ahmad there to link up with Mbumo, as well as they have done. Casemiro, Bruno, and Togu being the two in midfield and the left wing back, and Xerxes needs to be starting this game with Cunha and Mbumo. We need to be seeing this particular experiment. Xerxes must be taking his opportunities. Even if he doesn't start this game, he will be coming on in the second half because we will be needing a focal point. And against Everton, who will sit in a low block, as I said earlier, it's very, very good for Xerxes to drop off from that centre backs, try and link up with the likes of Cunha, Mbumo, Bruno, Ahmad, etc., and try and let them slingshot off him dropping deep and them going beyond with the space that he leaves in behind. Because if a Brandwaite decides to push with Xerxes when he tries to drop deep to link up play, then there is space for Mbumo to run in behind, like we did against Liverpool, where Mbumo came forward, Van Dijk was out of position, he then spinned in behind Van Dijk, and of course the ball was sent for him by Ahmad, and we saw what happened. It was a goal. A similar thing can happen against Everton if we are clever in how we move and how we work in the tight spaces. And if Xerxes plays, he will need to have very, very good form in order to hold the ball, lay it off, go again, and be that player that Benjamin Sesko was for Man United. Link up the play, use your strength, try and occupy the defenders so that the likes of Mbumo, Cunha, Bruno, etc. can move into the exploited spaces and of course punish Everton when they are trying to press or trying to be aggressive. We can win this game. We are the favorites for the next couple games. We will be the favorites, and that in itself does add a bit of pressure. But we need to now move into that phase of winning these type of games and winning them consistently, because if we don't, we are basically going to be falling further and further down the table, and we'll have a season like last season. But I do believe that that will not be the case. We've shown performances against, shall I say, weaker opposition, and where we are expected to win, we have shown good performances. There is a change in the way we are performing this season, and these type of games will be very, very crucial and a nice barometer for us to see how far we have progressed. Are we progressing, and what can still be worked upon? We need to work on being much better in the second half. We need to work on not conceding goals in one or two quick successions. We need to be much more concentrated when we are on the pitch, and when we do go in the lead, and this season we've gone quite a lot of times in the lead quite early, and we failed to control the game from that particular position. That now needs to change. It's another thing we need to improve upon, controlling games when we are in the lead and looking to kill the game off, looking to punish teams, not just by scoring one, but scoring 2, 3, 4 goals, and try and winning the game way before it gets to a stage where it's panicky and we start looking like we are confused at the back. We are basically lost in translation with how we are communicating, and we concede goals that are basically due to our own silly errors. But against Everton, we can be winning this game. You let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts ahead of the game against Everton. Let me know who you think Ruben Amorim will be starting, and let me know, in your opinion, are Man United still improving under Amorim? Let me know. I want to engage with you guys in the comments. Have a wonderful day further. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game. Till we see each other again soon in the next one. Bye-bye, Red Devils. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.